Good afternoon, everybody. And I want to start with a thank you to Mark, wherever he is, down at the end there, for including us in this today. It's incredibly exciting to be in a place like this after the last 4 years. And we're going to tell you a little bit about that right now. As Jeff said, I am part of something called Do-It-Yourself Happiness. I'm also a mental health promotion coordinator at the South London and Maudsley NHS Trust. And we have been responsible for developing this Do-It-Yourself Happiness project for the last 4 years. But before we kick off, I'd really like to introduce you to my 3 good things from yesterday. And they are standing right behind me. This is Carolyn Swan, and she's the project administrator, and she's also one of the facilitators for the workshops. And hiding right behind me here, come on up here just for a second, are Serena-Leigh Ellis and Sarah Samuel, and they were both participants in one of the projects that took place in Southwark before Christmas. And they're going to tell you a little bit about their experience later. But I'm going to start by giving you just a kind of whistle-stop tour. We've only got 10 minutes. We've been told very clearly that's all we have, about what the project is all about and where it came from. So to kick off, I just want to give you a little bit of the organizational context. SLAM, the South London and Maudsley NHS Trust, has been in the business of mental illness for about 750 years. So it's probably time for a change. We have been dealing with the 1 or 2% of the population that's been very ill for a long, long time. And in the last couple of years, what we started to think about was pretty much what was being said earlier. What happens, as Anthony said, if you start to go further upstream, if you start to look at really promoting mental health and well-being? And this is, from my perspective, a really interesting question. We can talk about it a lot. It's important to do, but what does it mean to promote mental health and well-being? What does it mean to do happiness in action? And at the time, and I still think now, a lot of people think about this as you improve your diet, you exercise more, and you think about what you can do for people with depression and anxiety. So basically what we're talking about is we're talking about fixing problems, aren't we? We're not actually talking about how we create flourishing communities. And what we wanted to do was take all of that stuff that we know that's happening in LSE, in the University of Pennsylvania, in all those ivory towers of academia, and say, what happens if you do this in the streets of London? What happens if we take it to neighborhoods? So what we looked at was saying, if knowledge is power, what is it from positive psychology that we can transfer into some kind of learning about happiness and do it locally? Okay, I'm going to pass over to Carol for a second.
So, you're all asking, how did DIY happiness come about? In about 2007, the big lottery awarded the 7 Well London Partners, which is the organisation that we've been working for, 9.46 million to work with 20 London areas to improve their mental health and well-being. DIY happiness was one of those projects. This headline is actually a bit misleading. But actually that doesn't matter right now. What matters is how telling some people's comments were. One of them was, it beggars belief that lottery cash is being diverted for brainless ideas like this. That's Mark from London, hopefully not Mark Williams. What a waste of money. Throwing money at this initiative is about as worthwhile as flushing it down the toilet. What a stupid idea. Why do they think wasting more money on things like this is a good idea? Londoners are miserable people, and no amount of money will make them smile.
So what did we do? Well, we started by developing our own model, our own recipe for happiness. We looked at what was out there in terms of the evidence around positive psychology, around what we knew around preventative mental health. And we decided that we could sort of design a wheel of well-being, a wheel of happiness, and we also wanted to emphasize the idea that we were talking about something that was much deeper than just having a lot more fun. So we identified these 6 areas: body, mind, spirit, people, place, and planet. And we were in a fantastic place when the Foresight Mental Capital Report came out in 2008, because we had started doing this. And those wonderful 5 ways to well-being that you will hear about at the back if you're around mapped quite nicely. We changed the colors a little bit, but they mapped on. And we had also added a 6th element, and that was planet, because we felt very strongly that individual happiness sits within a much greater context of global well-being and sustainability, so we needed to focus on that as well. We promoted this project as a series of 8 weekly workshops, and we started with the catchy name of Can Money Buy Women Happiness? Because we felt that there were probably not many people who were going to voluntarily, now think about, this was 4 years ago, sign up for happiness workshops, especially not when they were run by somebody with an accent like mine. We also dangled a carrot, and that carrot was cash. We said that if women attended 6 to 8 of the workshops that we were running, they would be able to design their own local happiness intervention. And that could be pretty much anything. And the carrot of cash was, you can do it with your community, so you can buddy up with other people, you can do it with women in the group, or you can do it on your own. So we had examples where 5 or 10 people came together and they had up to £5,000 to do something locally. We focused on women, as I think a couple of people have alluded to earlier. We were running a pilot project. It was very limited resources, and we know that women spread the word. And we just thought, if we want to get this out to as many people as possible, we need to go where we can as quickly as possible. Each week, we focused on one theme from that wheel of well-being that you saw earlier, and we married the academic theory to stuff that we really like to do. No, practical activities that we were sure was going to make a difference to people's lives. We introduced positive psychology concepts like gratitude, flow, signature strengths, that sort of thing. We did things like heart coherence, mindfulness, and we included practical activities. We had laughter yoga, and we've got a lot of the people that were involved over here. We did flower arranging. We ran reading groups. We did local photography walks. And we did crazy things like let's play with Play-Doh and figure out how many ways we can connect. Okay, I have talked enough about what we did, and I would like to now give Sarah and Serena the chance to actually talk about their experience, because they're the people who really have been, I was going to say beneficiaries, not, have helped us so much in what this project has been able to achieve. So I'm going to pass over to them now.